All right, this, if you've seen my 2 previous videos, or maybe it's one video, I might have combined them, we made a junk journal. How about that? And it turned out pretty good. Let's see here. I've got this 1927 college book. So lots of, I'm going to call these native pockets because they're already here. Those are the first things I probably want to glue down. Just going through here, but lots of places to collage. It's a blank slate. I love it. And see these glossy pages? I got 2 back to back. That's fine. Put something real big right here, real big right here. Some math. So are we ready to collage? Yes, we're ready to collage. Okay, first let's do our native pockets. How can I make them look good? So that way we'll know where our pockets are. Okay, so this, and I don't normally work in a book already sewn together, so this is going to be something kind of different. But let's pull out a bunch of washi tape. Washi, and I'm hoping I have some thin somewhere. That's all. Okay, there's a thin one. That's pretty. All right, so I'm gonna get a piece of paper, stick it under here. Ooh, that's loud. In my glue, art glitter glue. Just gonna kind of glue the pockets down, and then we'll put a little washi to make it look good. Little washi never hurt. Okay, so there's that one. Don't lose my pin. Okay, we'll come back. There's that one. I know I got my lid off my glue. Get back in frame. Okay, where's the pocket? It's where I just took my wide pages and folded them down. Let's do the top one first, shall we? All right. So it doesn't take much to put together a pretty good collage base. I mean, this is what I would consider a collage base. You're just ready to go to town. Okay, here's another one. Native pocket. There we go. And then we could put a nice little something across there. You'd still see all that math. Okay. Okay, nice. Everything's tight, despite my struggles, if you've seen the other video. All right, here's gonna be another right there. And everybody probably has a tub of torn papers just ready to go for collage. And here we go. Okay, there's our little pocket here. This is really thinner paper. This kids dictionary. So when you're out looking at Goodwill, thrift stores, antique stores, or, you know, they're going to be a premium price. But, you know what I'm going to do? Hold on one second. I'm going to find a round clip. Just cut a couple holes right here. Make it look like a pocket. There we go. You could glue also, you know, before you fold it over, here to make two pockets. I have some bigger cards for these. Let's try this one. And look, no measuring, no thought going into it, basically. Just don't let it stress you out. Here's another one. Where's my backing page? It's thinner, but it's pretty tough. Let's go. Is there any more? I don't think so. Okay, so where's the pin? Oh, it's probably the hardest part of my day is this pin. Okay. All right, that's in there. So we've got this thin washi tape. And I've got a couple of extra holes. You can see from my hole punching attempt. Let's just put a little washi over that on both sides. Tell you, once you get the end of that raveled, it doesn't want to. And this is going to have so much glue on it by the time I'm finished. I'm not worried about gluing that down. But yeah, we could put a pocket on the back cover. This Sarah Palin book, Going Rogue. Like I said in my other video, every time I go to Goodwill or Goodwill and Salvation Army, they have a shelf of them. I don't understand. In a red state, I guess you could say. Oh, goodness. All right, so that's kind of, that doesn't look bad. So we'll go over these with some other stuff here. Where were my pockets? There's a pocket here. Let's just put a little, just right here. Like to say we meant to do that. Right? Here, kind of angle it a little bit. There, that looks like a homemade pocket. You could tie some charms on there, beads. Let's see. Heaven help me find the end of this. Okay. this is a better spot. You're gonna have such a big space anyway. You're not gonna miss that little, I may have to glue that down. There we go. We're fine. We're fine. We'll come back. Okay, so let's get to the fun part. We put a pocket here at some point. Let's see. Let's start with this page. And I have 2 bins to get through. Since I love rough edges, let's try to tear. Oh, that went in too deep. Come here. Oh, if I could just keep it going. I am not a good ripper. I am not. I need to, okay. Let's see. Put this in here just as a protector. That would look good. Tear this in. I'm okay with this hanging over the edge like this. I am okay with that. If you can see, I'm okay with that. We'll find a little something to put there. This page has a couple of pictures. This page doesn't. Let's put it on the side right here. There we go. And we can layer it over, or we can layer this here and make another pocket. Do that. Has it got a right side or a wrong side? Typically the smaller visually looks better at the top, but your darker looks better at the bottom. So let's just put down a little glue right about this line here. Source of honor. Okay. My husband and I watched a documentary on the Blue Angels last night on Amazon, I believe. And I've never seen them that I know of. I do not remember ever seeing them. I will have to ask my siblings. We grew up in a town with a small airport that was frequented by skydivers. It was in Central Florida. You'd think growing up in Florida I would have seen them, but who knows? Okay, just pull this out a little bit, down a little bit, and what do we say, this way? Sure. Sure. I can't trust my memory to make a firm statement that I've never been. I'm gonna have a lot of blue glue come out of there. I smush it around. So I had a car accident with a head injury, other injuries too, but it took away memories. But it brought other memories, like high school days. They're more clear than before, which doesn't make sense, but they say it makes sense. So it's strange how your brain works. You could probably ask me tomorrow, what did you do yesterday? And I will have to think. even though I've spent some time working on this, I don't have to really think. What did I do yesterday? It's it's not terribly bad. It's there. I just have to find it. It's like I'm looking for an old memory, which is weird. So let's find something for that. So I do good to sit here and glue paper to paper. That's pretty. And that'll leave that fish out. Okay. Let's try this. It makes it hard to learn new things, which is a good brain exercise. When I was going to a speech therapist for brain therapy and speech therapy, get back into all that, the lady said, find something new to learn to do that you haven't done before. And I thought, oh, what could that be? Well, I just happened upon, I was at that time not moving very well because of all the damage and surgeries and blah, blah, blah. So Netflix and chill was like my life. But YouTube, I got on YouTube and I was, I don't even remember what I was looking for, but junk journaling. This was in 2018. Junk journaling wasn't as big as it is now, but there was Gail Augustinelli. She was out there. Probably a couple of others that I don't remember now, but I found junk journaling. So at first, I went back to my speech pathologist and she said, okay, what are you going to learn to do? And my mother and grandmothers were quilters from way back. I said, I'm going to learn to quilt. She said, no. That's precise. You won't be happy with it. You'll get frustrated. I've seen people try to do things with your level of brain function, basically. And the last thing that you need is to get frustrated with anything right now, because when your brain isn't working, your emotions don't work right, your reactions don't work like the person you used to be. And I was a high functioning person. I was a marketing director, an account executive. I did a lot of top level brain stuff. I was the gal at the office that people would come to and, hey, the printer quit working. Well, that's an easy fix. Anyway, so she said, no, you need to find something easier. And I found junk journaling. And I go to her and I said, I'm going to be gluing paper to paper. That's my new my new thing, is I'm going to glue paper to paper. And she said, that's perfect. That is perfect. I don't know if she said it because she thought, well, let's see how she does. They're very positive people, the therapists. They, other than her telling me no, quilting, no. Too many measurements, blah, blah, blah. Got glue right there. Yeah. She said, you know, in a positive way, don't do that. Let's just use a little bit of glue here. So once I found junk journaling, it apparently, I was head on the left side, or my head at the window of the left side of the driver's door, the window, and apparently that side of my brain had a little bleed according to the MRI, but not enough where it's like, oh, your brain's bleeding. Or they either didn't think it was or it wasn't. All right, but anyway, I can sit up for a really good day throughout a whole day, spaced out, possibly 3 hours. That's a really good day. Storms aren't coming in. Things like that. That looks cute right there, and make it a flip over. So I started this in 2018. Had to, I couldn't go back to the job that I had, so I just retired. It was a hard thing because I had worked since early in my teens. I mean, it's just how it was back then. You'll hear me say different words for different things also in my messed up brain. So between the brain and the back, so my car, you've probably heard me say this before, went off-road, dropped several feet and hit the ground, so the dropping caused my spine to accordion, and I have had to have 1 fusion. I need 3 more, but I'm very terrified of surgery now. But not because of all the wreck, but COVID of all things. So I hope you bear with me. I lose my train of thought. I lose my words that I think that I'm gonna say, and I don't catch it every time. So please don't leave comments and say you said the word car, but you meant card. It's a brain injury. I can't help it. The wreck was not my fault, but. Oh, now let's look at this. Sing a new song. That is so cute. And then we can cover this with some pink lipstick ink. Where's that at? Which, see, that would have been easier to do before gluing it. Oh. So I'm not very physically active anymore. This craft has helped me mentally and physically. Sometimes when I get done, and I can't do it every day. It has to be a good day. I'll just describe a bad day. A bad day is my spine just feels locked down, like you're having a labor contraction, but it's in your back, and it starts at where my bra strap is across my body, like all the way down, and it's muscle spasms. But if you're having, like I said, imagine pregnancy, birth, contraction. You're not moving around a whole lot, or you might be. Because you're just on lockdown. Your body says, I'm not moving. So that's a bad day. My feet will feel like ants are biting my whole, from my ankle down to my toes. There's that sensation. Or there's the sensation of a needle being pushed right up under my toenail, just over. And it's torture, really. I mean, I take gabapentin for that, but it's not a helpful drug for several reasons. You gain weight, your moods are junk. So it's a toss-up. I don't take it every day. I should, I'm supposed to, but if I did, I don't think I would be mentally the person that I want to be. Happy. It seems to make you want to strangle somebody. No, it makes you short. Makes me short-tempered. And I'm not usually that way. So by the time you collage this thing, the pages are gonna just be so thick. So what am I told? My speech pathologist, I'm doing junk journaling. I'm gluing paper to paper. And she, I would get frustrated. I would say, nothing looks like anything. And she said, you're just playing around, basically. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. And I was. So I encourage you, a lot of the people that I'm friends with on Facebook that are in the junk journaling world have way worse stuff going on. They seem to get out and do things. Fibromyalgia is a big thing. I don't have that. I can't imagine it. But I guess the main thing is, that's a nice little card. Everybody going through something. You just got to get through what you're going through. Ooh, I remember this from way back. Oh, I love this. I'm not going to remember the digital on Etsy, of course. But this is a digital on Etsy from probably 2018. So you may have to dig deep. If by chance it's yours, let me know in the comments. See, we can see the math on that side. We just do this and it'll hang over a little. But that's fine if I remember not to glue on it. Pencil. What did I do with my pencil? So if you're new to the channel, sorry. Sorry about your luck. Like and subscribe. That's what my 8-year-old granddaughter, she wants to record videos of herself. I put one up, made her a little channel, put one up for her when she was just about 3. She was in the back of my car. It was a car we got after the wreck. It's a Lincoln, and in the sky, she calls it the sky, the roof is just glass. And we went through a car wash, and I'm recording her, and she's laughing and smacking the soap as it hits her window. It's 7,500 views the last time I looked at it. It was like a week ago. I'm like, who is watching a 3-minute, 4-minute video, maybe 7 minutes, of a little kid laughing at a at a car wash? Okay, so that's sticky. Let's get a new piece down. Everybody gets these U-line books. They're perfect for that purpose. Remember your line. Remember your line. Just don't go to the edge. Go to this edge. So yeah, in my videos I always seem to bring up the effects that I've had from the wreck. I mean, it was the most traumatic thing to happen to me, or it was up until that point, then COVID. But it's hard to fill these videos with just, what do you talk about? I don't really go anywhere. I'm a hermit and I love it. And it's, a lot of it is fear, for sure. The driver that hit me was texting, just got into my lane and we were about to hit head on, so I just tried to turn right and he got me in the door. But anyway, young guy. So as a PSA, I do try to say don't text and drive. It damages people's lives. Does that look good? Who knows? We're gonna say it looks good. And see, I like to smush up these edges. I learned that from watching Ruby and Pearl and XO. But I'm not a good smusher. Okay. What are we at? 33 minutes. Ooh. Anybody still here? Hello? Knock once if you're still here. Okay. So this could now have a pocket on it at some point. Let's find something here. Oh, I've got all these in a Happy Mail. Ooh, that looks good. Ooh, that looks better. I did a Happy Mail one time a year ago. I guess you'd call it a Happy Mail. We were given a partner and we were supposed to send them something. It was my first time. I was excited. I sent a ton of stuff that I'd paid for and never, I mean, I was given the girls, you know, Facebook information and everything, and we were chatting, and then never got anything. And she looked like a normal person, mother of a couple of kids, and she got my stuff, and I was like, okay, I got burned. These racks are not for me, or that wasn't a rack, that was a straight on, I send you something, you send me something at the same time, sort of like we hand each other a gift and then we open it at the same time. Anyway. So it kind of gave me a, I shouldn't lump all people into that, but I thought, man, that's just kind of, that's not nice. That's not nice. Let's do this. Let's take this one. That's upside down, I know. Just hold on. We take, maybe just put that right there, and then we'll come back with something else later. We'll fill it in later. Just get something down on the page. All right, so it's hard to fill all this time with just idle chit chat. I did a poll one time on my Facebook group, the Dodd group. Do you like to watch videos with people that are chatting in the background or while they're working on, you know, about their life? Or do you not like that? You just want music in the background? And it was 50-50. Some people said, I love listening to, there you go, upside down, people's lives. It's, you know, soap opera sometimes. They turn on their TV, get their coffee, and start watching their girls instead of their shows. Or their stories. Their stories is what they used to call them. Gotta watch my stories. Where's the napkin? A paper towel. Yeah, the trick is don't get glue everywhere. That's sticky. Done. I'm gonna have to tear off some more. These little things are gonna drive me crazy. Let me move them. Come on. So it was 50-50. Some people liked hearing about children, grandchildren, their graduations, their ball games, just everything. I don't have anything like that to talk about. So maybe when you have a traumatic event, you kind of think, why am I here? Where my accident, it wasn't an accident, it was a crash. Five people have died in a very short period of time in that same spot. It's no real rhyme or reason for it, just happened. So I think I am alive for what reason? I had to retire. I can't hang with friends, which I was always the type of the person that, I mean, I was friendly. I could walk up to somebody and just start talking to them. That's good for the job that I had as an account executive. I have to walk up and just start talking to people I've never met and connect with them. Sales, basically. So I was never fearful of, you know, walking up and talking to people. That was kind of, I used to have to do trade shows. I did probably 30 trade shows or more. And where you've got to sell your company, basically, so I can walk up and talk to anybody. But now I'm just, I don't know. I don't prefer to go out of the house. I'm perfectly okay with that. Had a conversation with my sister last night. She's in Florida, where I grew up, and she was on a walk outside of her house, walking by barking dogs and random people driving around. And it's not a Florida, I don't think anywhere now is safe. Maybe that's just me, but she works in law enforcement, so she said she could handle herself. But anyway, it gets back to, I don't have a reason to go outside. I don't care to be in a car anymore. When a couple of months before the car crash, I had told my husband I was, you know, making bank, making good money, doing really well. I'm gonna buy a Cadillac. I told him, I'm gonna buy a Cadillac. To me, that was, you know, I have arrived. Sporty little Cadillac. He's like, no, we'll find something else. And then when I had the accident, crash, he came to the hospital, and I'm laid out. They've got a brace on every part of my body. And the doctors have already come in and told me a little bit about no broken bones. But anyway, he comes in and he says, he wasn't with me. He had to come to the hospital. He said, come around the corner. He said, you're still not getting a Cadillac. Of course, right after the car landed. So there was an initial hit, flying up in the air, spinning, then coming down. I'm facing the opposite way. The airbag deployed when we landed. I say we, my son and granddaughter were with me. They were okay. Of course, the car fills with this smoke, dust. I coughed that up forever. And it's, the doctor at the ER said I had a level 3, grade 3 concussion on the left side of my head, where when he hit my door, my head hit the window, my shoulder hit all that. I had to have shoulder repair surgery and all that. Anyway, he said that gave you a grade 3 concussion with a small bleed on the left side, but getting hit with an airbag is an automatic concussion, level 1. And that was in the front of my head. And he said, I have tape on there. My granddaughter, she gets in my stuff. She knows she's allowed to. She's always allowed. Nothing is off limits, really. If it is, it's put up or she can't get to it. But here, I see I'm going off on a tangent. So going back to the you're not getting a Cadillac. I told him that initially I kept asking, how's the car? How's the car? It's like that was the only thing I could say, because I was just like caught in a loop. How's the car? How's the car? How's the car? I knew they were okay. They were moving around. They were able to exit the vehicle just fine. Some guys had to stop and get my door open to let me out. But there's that first initial, you have your bell rung. If you're young and you don't know what that means, it means you took a hit to the head. You took a hit to the head, and I wasn't unconscious, but I don't think I was consciously talking correctly. I wasn't really, what did I care about my car? What does that matter, you know? Oh, that's pretty. So he said, you're still not getting a Cadillac. That has some fake writing on it right there. So I said, well, I just want a car with every available airbag. And at this point, I'm thinking I'm not hurting too bad. I'm not hurt. I'm sore like I've never been, but I'm not hurt. But it gradually grew. So he got me a Lincoln with all available airbags. I was off work for about almost a year. I tried at one point to go back, and I just couldn't sit there. I knew that there was something wrong with my back. I had gone a month after the wreck because my back was hurting, my hip, my leg, my foot. And he said, you blew out your L4, L5 disc. You need back surgery. I said, no. I'm gonna go home, take some Tylenol, rest up, go back to work. Well, that did not happen. As the days went on, I kept losing ability to walk. Until May, I could not walk. So this was Labor Day to May. I tried to tough it out. And it just, I lost my ability to walk. I was bone on bone. Got in, got a spinal fusion. I'd already had some shoulder surgery and some spinal injections, which are, oh my gosh. Those were the worst things that I thought you could do to a human. And my brother lives in Alabama. I live in Tennessee, but he was, I'm not sure I remember correctly on this, but at some point he had had those same types of injections where they go in with numbing and steroids and all this, and they stick it in your spine and it's supposed to help you. And they would put him in a twilight sleep to give him the injection. My doctor was a wonderful doctor, pretty good bedside manner, very knowledgeable, I felt like. But that was just, for me, oof, when I didn't like, he got, my nerve got jumping one time in my leg, and I laid there. You gotta lay there for a few minutes after they do it. My leg just kept jumping and jumping. I mean, flying off the bed like a whip. I had to stay there 2 hours just to, and the nurses would come check on me, and I said, what's going on? What is going on with my leg? Doctor's still doing other people, you do 100 a day. I said, I want to talk to him. I just got to ask him, what is going on? And his response was, if you feel so bad, go to the ER. Okay, I'm in the hospital, in a wing where they have pain management. That's where you go in and you get the shot and then you leave. The other side of the hospital is a hospital with an emergency room and everything. He says that, or she comes back in and she says, if you're hurting that bad, you need to go to the emergency room. I'm like, he's my pain management doctor. He just shot me with something. My leg is jumping and I don't know when it's going to quit. I just wanted somebody to tell me I was going to be able to drive home. This was pre-spinal fusion. That did not happen. He did not come in and talk to me. So I decided I got to go a different route. Went and had the surgery for the spinal fusion. That was L4, L5. I needed it from L3 to S1, but he said I was too young to be that fused. And I'm thinking I probably should have just been fused. Because now I still have the nerve pain, a limp, a horrible limp. And that's probably another reason I don't care to go out. I think there's some vanity involved in that. I don't want to be out limping. But I'm fine with it. It's fine. I do this and I lay on the couch. I watch Bridgerton, which go see my Victorian rooms digital kit that I made. I couldn't use the word Bridgerton on Etsy, of course. But I just love all those Victorian rooms in Bridgerton. Boy, that is pretty right there. Okay, let's do that. Oh, I am getting to where I need to go and get off my back. I have to spend most of the day laying down with no pressure on my spine. I try to do different hip movements to elongate my spine. My husband had bought me a inversion table. I did it a couple of times. I feel like it's gonna rip my feet off, which it probably won't, but that's just what it feels like. The boots, or when you have, you know, you put your shoes on, it just feels like it's pulling me apart. So, a lot of blah, blah, blah. But this will be cute, I think. And I'll get this up on Etsy, but we've got more videos to do, more collaging, and I hope you stay with me as we work on this book. I'm not claiming that it's a tutorial, even though, I mean, I guess I could tell you I have made and sold over 35 junk journals on Etsy. It used to be where I would list a junk journal and it was bam, gone. You know, which that gave you, you know, it gives you a lot of confidence boost, but the market has changed. There's a lot of competition, I guess you could say. But I just do it for fun and for getting off the couch, something to drive me off the couch. But like and subscribe, name this journal, tell me what you're binge watching so I'll have something else to watch. But look at that, it's gonna look amazing. All right, stick with us. Thanks, bye.